crazy. If you missed me for a couple of minutes there, we actually our stream just lost connection. Hopefully, we it's back. I hope it doesn't start a new stream. That would be exactly okay. So well, looks like we are back. Didn't it didn't take that long. So yeah, well, looks like we're good. So let's see. Um, what could have happened? I'm sure this might probably generate a new. Anyway, so if you're watching me and then the stream just went blank, we lost connection there for a sec, but it looks like we are back. If you're watching me and if you can just probably give me like a thumbs up or something so I know um, we are back live, because I don't think. Uh, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, I hate this. So what's happening is that it's created a new stream. Anyway, sorry. Um we just have to continue from that side. Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna let me actually share the let me share the document this, all right, so that you can also want to check it out, you can check that out. Okay, so couple of things we need to do. We've seen the overview of it. The next logical thing for us to do is to get the bot installed, the whole framework installed, and then start to create it. Now, what I was trying to say is that in the next couple of episodes, we're going to try to create a complete bot. We're going to follow the tutorials to create it, and then if we don't finish in today's session, we'll continue. We'll do a part two in like next week's episode. Okay, awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are live. Thank you. So that's a confirmation there. So cool. So let's get into installation. So let's get here. Now, the couple of prerequisites, all right? So as you can see from here, you need to have the bot framework emulator. I have it already installed. If you don't have it, go to the documentation I shared. You should be able to see that. I think, where are my manners? I didn't welcome people today. Oh, shame on me. Welcome, guys. Sorry, with all this, I was just a bit, thrown into it. But anyway, let's get into it. So you need to have the bot framework emulator installed. I have that tick. You need to have .NET SDK, .NET Core 3.1 ticked, and then you also you need to download the composer. So these three things. So basically simple. Just open them up. Let's open them up and then download the executable and then install. So for all of them, the emulator, you can run it on Mac, you can run it on Linux, you can run it on Windows. All right. The same applies to so the .NET Core is cross-platform. So whatever platform you're running, well, that's the cool thing. You can use this. So it's not just limited to Windows, right? So I have gone ahead to do the installation. There are two ways you can do the installation. You can actually install install the binary or the app, or you can just go, clone the repository, the repository here, and then just build it with, if you're used to Node and building stuff, you cool. But let's just take it, quite simple. I have downloaded and installed it, so it's right here. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's take it, one at a time. So with that said, I'm going to close this. Let's close this, and then let's take a quick tour of Composer. Now, awesome. Welcome, 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 welcome. So, if there's any question, don't forget to drop your questions in the chat. I would answer them as we move along. So, here the prerequisite is that we would have installed the Composer, all right? And then we'll create an EchoBot, right? Before we take the tour. So, let's go ahead and create the EchoBot. So now EchoBot is like the very basics, all right? The very smallest of things just to get your bot up and running. And you're going to see how fast and easy it is to create a very basic and minimal bot. Then over the period of the next episodes, we're going to be adding, flesh to this thing to make it a functional thing. So, well, once we install it, we open it, and then we start with the Echo bot. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go here and open run. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think it's here in DevTools. So let me go and run my bot composer. That would have been strange, like something that was just there right now just vanished. But any which ways, well, we're waiting for it to run. So there you go. This is how the bot composer UI looks like. All right. Sorry if you just joined us. What happened was that our stream went off, and because of that, it split the stream into two. So if you're watching right now, you're watching the live one. But hold on, what just happened? Yeah, you're watching the live one, but there might be um how do you call it? There might have been. Did we just go off again? That is crazy. I don't think we went off again. Okay, that's okay, cool. So this is the UI, right, of the board framework composer. So in the example here, we can just go ahead and click on the Echo bot, and I can go ahead and give it a name. So let me call this awesome, awesome. K Edwins, thank you very much. So let's just call this let's call this the logic. Let's call this a logic bot, all right? And then we'll say this is a test. We'll just say this is our test bot. Yeah, let's say test bot. And then we can either choose to accept the location where it is kept, or we can just go ahead, and I like to put my things in folders or places where I can easily have access to. So let's just go ahead. Oh no, let's just let me see if I can find something else here. Actually, try this. Yep. So I'll go to dev, then I would do bots. Then okay, so let's create a new folder, dev, and then let's do bot, right? Yep. So in dev here, I'll create a new folder here, and I will call it bot. So in bot, yeah, so we're going to put it in this folder, right? And then let's click OK. Awesome. Let me move this here so it's not in our way. So what's going to happen is that now you realize that we have yeah. So immediately you create a how do you call it? You create an echo bot. So what an echo bot is basically just going to respond with anything you give it. All right, that's what an echo bot is. So yeah, this has an ID. This gives you this is a welcome screen. We're going to take a look at this welcome screen. Uh, yeah, yes, we're going to take a look at this later. But now these are things I just want you to take a look to be very mindful of, because we're going to take this step by step. All right. So on the right here, let's see if I can do this. Else, I am just going to look for my zoom H2 so I can zoom into several parts of the application just to make it a lot visible. So Control 1. So let's come here. Now on the right side here, right, you will see language understanding recognizer all the way here. Okay, what we want to do for now, because we're just building an echo bot, is at this point we're going to leave it to say none, right? We don't want it to use any recognizer, because language understanding is what it's going to use to recognize. But for now, for the echo bot, we're just doing how do you call it? It's just going to give us everything we type to it. So nothing specific here. So we set that to none. All right, and then we can test this. Okay, I can save this, and then now you can test it by clicking the top here. All right, top right. Actually, let me just zoom in again. I think the last time I was trying to figure out what to. So here, you click on start bot, this top right here. What's going to happen is that it's going to now call the bot emulator, and then it's going to run the bot for you. So let's test this out. So I'm just going to click on start bot. And then what's going to happen is in the background, it's going to spin up the bot emulator, which I already have installed. It's going to run it. And it's going to provide me with an interface to test the Echo bot. Now, so the Echo bot is basically just telling you anything you put into it, it's going to return that. Now, this is like in the simplest of forms. Yeah, it takes a bit of a while because it's trying to load the whole bot framework. I should actually run the bot framework for starting. So quick one for those on. Have you built a bot before? If you built a bot, what tool or technology did you use? Can share with me, and let's have a very quick and short discussion about that. Yeah, someone is not too happy. Let's see. Uh, oh, Elom, what's the problem? Elom, what is the problem? Is our feed down? Is our feed down, or you can't see it? So what's happening is that it's loading. It's in the background. It's trying to run the bot. Okay, there you go. So it's done. Now after this happened, yeah, I need to allow for security reasons. I need to allow this. So remember this. I have my antivirus is quite aggressive, so it always tries to make sure that I'm giving permission to anything that is running or accessing a network on my machine. So yeah, this is what I want you to take a look at. So here, all right, at the top right. So you see, once everything is done, you have another option that says what? Test in emulator. All right, so it's built and deployed it. So now, if we click on test in emulator, just hit this. All right, so this should run it. Okay, so let's see. It's not running this. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy the URL, and then I'm going to open my bot emulator. What's the difference between PVA and bot framework composer? Okay, so I was trying to address that. I was trying to address that earlier on. That the difference between the PVA and the bot framework composer is that now. So the bot framework composer under the hood is just exposing the bot framework SDK for you to use. So you know that if you on the Microsoft ecosystem, there are a couple of ways you can build bots, but the main way is to use the Microsoft bot framework or bot framework service on Azure. So the bot framework composer exposes the SDK as UI and a visual interface for you to build it. In the background, which will create almost the same thing you would have done if you were manually creating the board with C Sharp and in Visual Studio IDE. So that's the difference. Now, the other difference is that Power Virtual Agent is hosted on the Power Platform as a service, right? So it's like that's like a bot as a service or virtual agent as a service, right? The same thing, Visual UI, drag and drop, and create hosted services. Now, the cool thing with this one is that it's just like you're building any other conversational bot within the Microsoft bot framework, but this time with a UI component that you can host in almost any platform of your, of your choice. So let's see. I won't be surprised if my hold on. Let's see if my antivirus is actually blocking the board framework from the emulator from running. So I don't know, Key Edwards, I don't know if that answers your question. I can further clarify it. You know what? I'm going to do this quickly. Let's turn this off, and then yeah, I'll try to run the framework again. Let's see, because I think it's blocking my antivirus is blocking my emulator. It does that all the time when I'm running other stuff that I don't usually run. I have to like add it to the exclusion list. But let's see. Okay, so yeah, so key headwinds, I awesome. So you can see you can use them. They are all low code or no code entry into building it. So that's another way to run it. All right. Okay. So our bot emulator is running, and as you can see, I have typed it several times. So because I kept running and running and running, oh my jeez, a lot of it is running now. Oh, I really overwhelmed my. Okay, so cool. You know what? I'm going to. Okay, let me leave this running and then test in emulator again, and let's see what happens. Yes, so that's actually what I want. Awesome. So now you realize that. Let's also make this big. I think I can also bring. So here, if I this is an echo bot. So if I type hi, it's going to return hi. You said hi. If I type hello, it's going to say you said hello. If I type welcome to bot composer, it's going to return the same thing. So if you can't see this, let me actually zoom in here for you to see. Yep. So this is just what was happening. All right. So I typed hi here, and then it came back and said you said hi. That is what the echo bot does. All right. This is just the fundamental. So I typed hello, and then it tells me, you said hello. I type welcome to bot composer. It says So this is all the echo bot does. But on the side, there's one thing I want you to look at. You can see, you know, it's if you look closely, bunch of the API calls, okay, a bunch of service calls. There's a post to send a message. There's a trace to see what to tell you what it got, and then also just to respond with a message. You said hello, all right. If you look at the direction, if you look at the logs, so this is what I said. I sent this. You can see this. This is like an in, and then it responded with me with you said hello. So it has clean it gives you a lot more insight into debugging, tracing, and building the solution. All right, quite simple. Now, the key thing that we want to take a look at is take a tour. Now, ideally, what happens is that the first time you run, let's go back to the bot composer. So the first time you run the bot composer, all right, and you get to the settings, all right, up. That's fine. Cool. So let's go here. Then let's take a look at this. Pum, 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 pum. Let's see. Let's see this. All right. So now, so the first thing, usually you want to get you want to get acquainted with the UI. The easiest way to do that in the bot framework is that when you open the bot framework composer and you go down here, see settings, right? You open this and then you select application settings, all right? And then you enable, all right, onboarding, turn enable onboarding on, all right. Once you do this and you return the design screen, check this out. You see this? Let me take my face off, so you can see this properly. So it shows you. Let's bring it in so you can see this well. Yep. So it shows you this kind of like tour guide, all right, that walks you through understanding the UI and how to build and do a couple of things in here, all right. So here we've set up our bot, which is the echo bot. It gives us one tip. So now you can see it can go ahead and say, learn the basics. So let's interact with it and see how that works. So I'll just click on learn the basics, which is the next one, and take a look at this. Yes, so here you would say that, but wait, some of this looks like Power Virtual Agent. Well, yeah, the same, underlining working in the way you can easily click and drag and do is the same concept here as well. That is building the visual designer, but the models are a bit different. I can do an in-depth thing maybe in another episode or in a blog post to just to explain to you. So here, as you can see, it's telling us that on this side, right, this side is our main dialogue. All right. So the main dialogue is named after your bot. That is, the root entry point of your application. As you can see, it is logic bot. When we started, we called it logic bot. So that's a logic bot up there. So let's click on next. And then here, it tells us add a trigger. So triggers are the things that connect intents to bot responses. So triggers are like if I went to the bot and I say, hey, let's say hello bot, or let's say what's up bot, or let's say my guy or Charlie, what's up? Those will be trigger phrases or trigger things that will, initiate or kind of like wake the bot up to do stuff. So it says here triggers connect intent with bot responses. Think of triggers as capabilities of your bot. Example. So your bot is a collection of triggers. So for instance, if I say, what's the weather? All right. That is an utterance, which in itself has intent, has actions, has slot values and entities. That based on language understanding or Lewis, the bot would understand what I'm trying to say and then deduce it and go give me the necessary response. All right, we're going to see how to build that, so no big deals. Now, to add a new trigger, click the add button in the toolbar and then select the add new trigger option from there. So this is like an onboarding, just walking you through how you can use it. It's a good thing that I want you to take a look at when you start running with the bot. So the next thing is user input. So you can define and manage intent. So intent is your intended actions. All right. If you've been doing bot and virtual assistant, Alexa, Google Actions, and all that, intent are your actions. What do you want to do? And intent is I want to get flight arrivals. All right. So some of the things I'll be showing or writing about is how to connect to APIs, external APIs, and then use that information to feed your bot. I'll show you how to do that in subsequent episodes. So you can define and manage intent here. Now, each intent describes a particular user interaction through what we call utterances, like I mentioned. Utterances is made up of intent, actions, and entities, or sometimes we call slot values or variables, whichever makes you easy to understand that. All right. So, and then here you have your actions. All right. So actions are how the bot responds. So you have the trigger that wakes the bot. You have the utterances, right? That determines, or your intent that determines what you want to do. And once, so thanks to language understanding, it is able to map what you say to the action you want, the intent, what you are intending to do. So, for instance, if I say, can you give me, let's say, yeah, give me latest COVID, active COVID cases, right? Maybe the keyword there might be active COVID cases, and therefore and language understanding will know that, oh, your intention is to get what, active COVID cases. So your intent will now be what, active, right? Now, based on the settings, it knows that anytime I get an active COVID intent, I need to do this action or perform this action. All right. Then it's going to call the action that you are going to create in response to the user's what, request. So maybe something that would help is that if you want us to create a very simple bot that responds to things you asked it concerning our current COVID count, that would be another thing we can do on the show as well. But I mean, applying that to other things is quite similar. All right. Then finally, you have your bot responses. So your bot responses, this is where you manage all the bot responses, how your bot should respond, all right, to user interactions and user intent, all right. So that is how you easily activate the onboarding. Now let's continue with it. Now it says that add a welcome message. So it's just one tip. So let's go ahead and add a welcome message. So now we're working through this because I just want to expose you to, bare minimum, how to, get started. If you're serious with this, you can actually go through this in this weekend, and by Sunday or Monday, you have a working bot. Trust me, it's that simple. All right. So if you have, don't forget, if you have any questions, keep them coming. We have a couple of minutes to go, so there's a lot for us to do. All right. So let's add the welcome message. Now, the welcome message is triggered by the conversation update event. All right. So to add a new conversation update trigger, all right. So you click on the add here and then select add a new trigger from the drop down. And then in the create trigger wizard, you select the type, set the type to activities in the drop down. And then what? So if you like, let's do this. I mean, it makes it a lot easier for you. You can just copy this. Let's put this here. And we're just trying to play around here a bit. All right, so we have this. So let's say, so we go here. No, 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 I'm not leaving it. How would I leave it? Yes, I'm going to create a new. So let's go here. So add a new, you see, a new trigger, not a dialogue, a new trigger. So I'm going to add a new trigger. All right. And then I want it to be an activities. All right. It's not a dialogue event. It's not a custom event. It's an activities event. All right. And I'll explain this in details as we move on. All right. Um. So let's see. Let's just say, which one would we use? Let's say greetings. Greetings. Where is that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Yeah, there we go. We just say greetings. Okay, it's a conversational update activity. So then we do submit. And then take a look at this. So it created what? A trigger. All right. It created a trigger for us. And then, so if you want to customize, just select, let's look at so this is a send response. All right. So this is where the response we want to send. So take a look at this. It says that when the conversation update activity is called. All right. So now, so get this. This is what you'd have been doing if you're using the bot framework SDK in Visual Studio or writing C Sharp. You have to handle all these things, but this has been done for you. All right. So to customize it, we click on this thing. All right. And then in here, right, let's just type it there. All right. So let's just say, welcome to, no, let's do this. Welcome to the Demystify Tech show. All right. So that's it. Right. Do this. And then I just make sure that, I'm saving to get all this sorted. And then let's just go ahead and let's test this again. Oh, I should have just restarted the bot as I'm going to have all these things, you know. So let's just go ahead and do hi. No, not the echo bot. I needed to restart the bot with it. So let's actually close. I have another one open, so that's fine. So let's close. It would open another one. So let's go ahead. So this greeting is what we created another one. All right, we created a welcome user. This is just like a common one. So here we go, and then let's restart this. Start our bot. So what's happening is that it's going to reload the changes, and then yeah, allow this. So you see that initially the first one, because I had my antivirus in there, it was just messing me up. Let's go. All right, so that should be done. If I run this again, this should run the test emulator, and there you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So very simple to do. Now, the next thing I want us to concentrate and do now. So the next thing is we're now going to build, all right, we're going to create our bot. We're going to build our very first bot. Now, let me pull this out so I can see what we're going to be doing. So for the bots that we're going to build, all right, it's actually going to be it's going to be a weather bot, right? It's going to be a weather bot. Now, so first step, we're going to create the bot. We're going to test it in emulator. We're going to add multiple dialogues to it to help the bot fulfill more than one scenario. Then we're going to use what we call prompts. So prompts, we're going to use that to ask you questions. You're going to ask the user questions for the user to respond, all right? To the bot to respond to you. And then we're also going to handle what we call interruptions. So if you're probably, let's say, you started a conversation with the bot and the tone or the path or the flow of the bot was probably to get information about COVID. Then all of a sudden you throw a curveball. You moved away from COVID to know something else. All right. Those are interruptions. How do we handle those interruptions and provide useful responses, to the user? Those are things also we will handle. And then we'll see how to send what we call responses with cards, with adaptive, cards. And then we're going to use finally the language understanding intelligence services in the bot. So these are the things we're going to do. Let me actually bring them here so that let's see this. So you can let me share the screen here. So you can appreciate what we're going to be doing. So this is it. So this is what we will try to do. So first, create a very simple bot, add the multiple dialogues to it. So this is what we're going to be doing for the next couple of we're going to start in the next few minutes, and then wherever we get to, we'll pause. We'll continue the next episode until the conversation, this particular weather bot is built. Then I'll talk about some concept and share a couple of things, and then we can close that series up. So if you have any specific questions, if you have any um, resources, requests, or things that you want us to talk about, or a question specific about board frameworks and all that, please feel free to ask me. I'll be more than willing to help you or to answer the question. So just remember that next week, now we're going to build this from scratch. We're going to build a weather board from scratch, and these are the various steps or paths that we're going to do. So for now, what I want you to do is go set up the board framework, go set up your composer, go set up all the things you need. I think I share the resource. Actually, let me do this. Let me send the link again to Composer in the chat for those who joined us a bit late. So let's put this here. All right, and let's come back here. So use these resources that I have provided you. All right, use the resources. Go set up your bot environment. All right, and then when we meet next week, we have just 8 minutes to go. So I'll keep you in suspense a bit so you can come back and join us next week. So uh, go use the URL I've just provided to you. Set up your bot environment. All right. Make sure you have everything set, and then make a date with me next week. And then we're going to kickstart. I'm going to build our weather bot, and basically this weather bot is going to give us weather information. Then we can spice it up a bit with COVID data, to give us, the weather, and then some COVID related information, current like current recorded cases and all that pertaining to our region, and then we can go ahead and modify and add all the cool stuff to it. So if this sounds like something interesting to you, I would encourage you share this, come back, look at the video, do whatever I want to do. Connect to me if you need any assistance or help, and then I'll be more than willing to help you. Answer a lot of the questions you have. We have about 7 minutes. If you have any specific questions, you can ask me now. Else, I'm just going to goof around for the next 7 minutes, and then when it's time, we'll call it a day, and then we'll reconnect again. So in the meantime, if you have any question, keep it coming. Else, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go ahead and then start goofing. But I think the first thing I'll do is just go ahead and then start the basis for our bot. All right, so I'm going to do that. Let me take this out of here so that we can get this started. Yeah, you feel free to ask the questions. We have like 7 minutes to go, so that's cool. So let's go back here to the home. I'm going to create a new bot. And then here I'm going to say create from scratch. All right. So I have the option to select template, echo bot, empty bot, simple to do with Lewis, dialogue actions, asking questions. So there are a lot of templates that you can choose from. Right. A lot of templates you can choose from and have some fun. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to go with create from scratch. Click on next. All right. And then I'll give it a name. All right. Let's go ahead and then we'll call this let's call this Kofi Ghana. Let's call this Kofi Ghana bot. All right. And we'll say this is a cool bot who talks about Ghana, its rich culture and trending news. So virtually anything. We'll start with weather, we'll start with COVID, and then we can start adding celebrity gossip. So if you go and ask Kofi Ghana something, we're able to, go pick data from different endpoints and show to you. So that's kind of like what I'm looking at. So for instance, if you come and say, hey, Kofi Ghana, what's trending? Kofi Ghana should be able to go to like the top news site and see, hey, what's trending? Like for instance, Tracy Boachi is trending like crazy. So maybe Kofi, you can go ahead and say, hey, Kofi Ghana, tell me about Tracy Boache, and then they can, use language understanding intelligence services. I don't even know why I mentioned this. For those of you that are watching from outside Ghana, there's a hot beef going on, but hey, let's stick to tech. Today is Friday, but let's just stick to tech. So it can pick that using language understanding intelligence services, and just go, look up this person and bring some more information. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to keep it here in DevBot, the same place, and then I'll just go ahead and click on OK. All right. Okay. Then we're just going to I'm just going to click on OK here. All right. And one thing you should notice that you realize that in the naming of the bot there are no spaces because spaces are not allowed as of now. Spaces are not allowed. All right. So you don't want to do that. Now each dialog contains one or more triggers. So as of now, if you look here, we only have like the greetings trigger. All right. So if we go back here and if we just let's say start this bot and we test it, it's just going to send a welcome message. All right. At this point, there's nothing too crazy about it. So let's open our Kofi Ghana bot. All right, quite simple. Now, so anytime you create a conversational bot, first of all, is that it has one or more triggers that define the actions available to the bot, and then when you create a new bot, we can add new activities and stuff to it. All right. So, do you have some time? Yeah, 3 minutes. Let's go for it. Let me take this out so you can see the full screen. All right. So one thing you need to also know is that to help keep the bot organized, all right, you can rename the trigger in any way that makes sense to you. You don't necessarily need to stick to the default names that are given. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, so let's go and then modify um let's say okay, so let's go ahead and modify the greeting. So let's select the greeting, right? And then uh in our properties panel, what we want to do, so properties panel is on the right here, right? So on the right side of the screen, let's select the trigger name where we have, okay, there we go. That's it. Yeah, so here we have false. Here we go. Let's those are conditions. We have our welcome message. Okay, so once we have the welcome message here, okay, okay, this, and let's test this out. So you know what? Let's just make sure that it's functional before we move on, before we start even making the changes to the welcome message. So let's see. I mean, it's just quite very basic, just like we saw in the Echo bot. So we just save this and then we wait for it to build, get stuff going. Okay. Yep. To allow this for it to allow it to run. Yep. Let's do. Yeah, my firewalls. Yeah, that's the thing I always have to do. Anytime I have to stream, I just need to just turn off the firewall. But then I need to put kind of like put a proxy in place just to avoid. Okay, so now we'll test in an emulator. This should run. Start the bot framework emulator here. And yeah, see, welcome to empty bot sample. Because we said empty bot sample, pretty much like this is just what happened. There's nothing. So just so you know, it's very bare bone, empty, 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 right? So yeah, that's fine. Let's go ahead here, all right, and then cool. So we can continue. So we're going to continue right now, right? So we select this, and then in the top here, like if you don't want this to be greeting, you can give it another name. So let's go here and say, let's call this welcome. Let's say welcome. Let's call this, what name should we give? So let's just say welcome there user, right? Now don't forget it doesn't support spaces, so just keep it this way. So we've changed this greeting to welcome the user, and then in the response, just select the response here, and then hey, let's just go ahead, you know, and change this. So instead of just saying welcome the user, let's go ahead and get rid of the whole thing. Say hi, I am Kofi Ghana. Um, I have the latest in news, uh, gossip, weather. Let's make this COVID, and just for shaggy reasons. Uh, I was gonna do something crazy, but I'm just gonna leave it this way. COVID much and much more, right? So stop. So kind of like very basic, right? And then once that is done, uh, yep. So once that is done, let's see this. Um, let's see. Make sure that all these things are nice and cool. Okay. Let's save this. So I have this information here. So I can just go ahead and just say restart the bot because we already started it. So we're restarting it for it to pick up the new changes. Let's go ahead and test it later. Then redeploys that. Then check that out. You see the welcome message. Hi, I'm Kofi Ghana. Let me actually bring this up here. Hi, I'm Kofi Ghana. I have the latest in news, gossip, weather, COVID, and much more. So I can go ahead and say, what do you want to know? All right. And then we'll take it from there. So this is just the beginning of a journey into building our first ever Ghana, hippie bot. So So we come your way again next Friday to continue the next part. So if let me bring this back again so that it gives you an idea. So what we've done is we've created a sample bot and tested it. So we can check this off. How do I do this? No, I've not done this in text. What am I trying to do? What am I trying to selection? Well, anyway, I'll just leave it that way. Or we could do another thing. All right. I'm going to bring, let's say, to do. Yes. I'm going to use another Microsoft tool, and I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to create a list, and I'll call this the Demystify Tech Show. And then here, you can say Kofi Ghana bot. All right. So it's just like an activity. So let's add a task. What are we going to do? So the first task here is to create. See how we're using the tool. So the first task here is to create a simple bot. So created. And then the next one is add multiple dialogues to fulfill the scenario. One scenario. So let's do this. Let's add that. We have a second one. So the third one, I'll say use. Okay. Third one is here. The fourth one, handle interruptions. Do this. Fifth one, use language generation response to build a response body. Oh no, why did I do that? Come on. I think I'm in a hurry to go have a bottle of beer. That's why. Send response cards. So, and then the last one, use Louis in bot. All right. Okay. And then in today's episode, what we've done, all right, is what is that? So we've created a template, all right. So let's just uh, take up. Yeah. Oh, yep. Yep. So this has been done. So let's strike that out. And that where to get chilled beer. Yeah, so I have been chilling some beer before the show started. So right from here, I'm just going to my hall to have a chilled beer, take a break from computers for the rest of the night, have my family time, and then just chill out, watch some Netflix and drink some beer. That's the lifestyle. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So now we can now that we have this, we don't technically need. Yeah. So this is how it looks like. So in next week's episode, we would continue with adding the multiple dialogues to help. And I will be there. Someone is joining us. I know, right? Please hurry up. Once I get off, the chilling continues. So in next week's episode, we're going to add the multiple dialogues, but probably we're going to add a couple of things, and then so feel free to send me. Feel free to send me your, ideas on what what you want our Kofi Ghana bots to do. Information and gist and things you wanted to send, just share it with me, and then on next week's episode we'll add it to the list of to-dos. And then one thing I'm going to do is that I'm also going to open source this, so at some point the code will be available. You can just clone it, fork it, whatever it is, and add your own to it. So until I come your way again next week with another trailing episode, don't forget next week's Saturday. All right. I'm just going to bring this back again, because we need you to come chill. We need you to come learn stuff. It's a virtual thing. Right, let me just quickly open this and share it before we go. Production live mentions. Yeah, this is very, very important. Very, 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 very important. On the 29th, all right, of August, that's next Saturday. We have the man himself. Matt is coming to talk about, C sharp and all, now, future, all that. So make a date with us. 29th, I guess, is 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. GMT. 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 All right. So join us, hosted by myself, Frank, and all the cool guys at the Accra.net user group. Don't miss this. Don't miss this for anything. Well, till I come your way again next week with another thrilling episode. I think I'm getting too hyper because I know we're. Anyways, stay safe. Be good, be kind, be helpful, be resourceful, learn something new, share something new, be the next, game changer wherever you find yourself. With that, we are out.